Well, good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, and I'm back to share what I made since Wednesday. So, in Friday's live, we were talking about square. Oh, it's going to be my nemesis here. I was trying to figure out how to auto-generate the skew, thinking that if I'm on, for example, I started with 001, so that's my first item. So if I'm on 099, the next number should be 100. I was thinking that if it auto-generated, it would just automatically go to 100, then 101, 102, and so on. Well, Stacy went out of her way to help me figure out how to make it auto-generate, and that was after I called Square's helpline. But Stacy helped me figure it out, and then I went to test it this morning, and it comes up with like some crazy numbers and letters and all that. So auto-generate is not what I want. But if that is something that you want, when you go to download the app, there's like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 different square things. I had picked the little black or gray, whatever, one to use. In order to do the auto-generate and get the different reports, you need Square for retail. And you get a 30-day free trial on it. And after that, it's $29 a month, which I think is a little pricey. So I probably, most likely, will not be doing the subscription, especially since it's not going to do what I thought it was going to do. If I made thousands and thousands of dollars a month doing this, then it would be totally worth it. But, so I'm going to go and turn off auto-generate, and I'll just, unless there's a way to make it do it sequential, and Tech and I aren't getting along these days. I don't see where it is in there to make it go in a sequential number order. I just want 3 digits so that when I put it on my tag, I can write 001. And if I go to sell that item, I just punch in 001. It pulls it up. I can hit the button and it's going to track what I sold so that I don't have to worry about, did I miss writing something down? Did I forget to keep that tag or what have you? Tech and I are not getting along these days. So there's that. But thank you, Stacy, for helping me figure out how to turn that on, and that I was not in the right app. So, and then I did it from the browser. So I don't know. I don't know how to make it do what I want it to do. So I'm just going to keep a master list, and then I'll know what number I'm on. That's all I can do. Or I can go back to having it in the title, and then I can see it, and it'll just come up in numerical order instead of, just showing the title and then the skew is separate. But yeah, what a mess. What a mess. But I'll figure it out eventually. I will figure it out. I swear I will. Then also, I just have been feeling like yuck lately. I wasn't feeling real good in the live Friday. I feel a little better, but I'm still not quite back to normal. I don't know. I just generally feel yucky, chilled. I've had a headache for 3 days. Right now, the headache feels okay, but it's still there. It's like just enough to let me know, hey, I'm still here. Don't forget about me. Trust me, I'm not forgetting about you. So anyhow, After going through last week and entering all the stuff in my market bags into the square and really getting to see what I have, we started working on things to restock things that are good sellers for me. And just generally some smalls because, you know, that's about all I felt like I could get done. If you know what I mean. So my last few markets, because I've been putting keychains in a basket like this, but I want to get a solid basket so that the tags and stuff don't get hung up in the holes. You know, like a Tupperware, a long Tupperware, like cake style thing, so that the people can dig through it, because they sell way better when they dig through it than they do when they're hanging up where everything can be seen. So I need to run to the store for that. But I was working on keychains. Now I showed you that I played around with some F-bombs. And someone in the live suggested put an F-bomb on a swing. Maybe. That might be a good idea. But so I have those that need to get added into the inventory. And then on and off, like I wanted to do like a rubber ducky type thing. And there is a pattern on Instagram that looked really small. And I'm like, well, you know, maybe with Parfait Chunky it would come out small enough. So I did one, and it's with Parfait Chunky. Still, I have just the tiniest bit of the bad orange left. I can't wait till I'm through that one. So it is a little bit bigger than I would like it to be for a keychain. It would look real cute hanging off a backpack. But for a keychain, I think it's a little bulky. Like, I could not put this in my pocket. So there's that. But it turns out cute, and I like it as a keychain. Now, this one would definitely have to be more than a $5 price because, you know, it takes quite a bit longer. So there's the yellow ducky. And then this morning, I'm trying to put the hardware on so that I can show you my keychains. And, you know, I am not a lefty. And to sit there and do that, you're using the 2 pliers, and I'm trying to hold it with the left hand so that my dominant right hand can do all the other work. And I kept dropping it and fumbling it, and yeah, so it was kind of fun. Not. So then I've sold a few of my little blueberry keychains. So I decided to make a couple more to throw in. It won't spin right. Just because I want to show the front sides with the faces. So we made 2 blueberries. One's a little bigger than the other. That's what happens when your tension's all over the place. And then I'm like, what other quick and easy one can I do? Because that's what I wanted, was quick and easy things this week. So we did the ice cream cones. So I sold my mint chocolate chip. So I made another mint chocolate chip. And then I decided, let me just do a chocolate. And maybe, yellow. Could be lemon or banana, something like that. And then one more, which I had to make twice because I dropped the first one and Toby took off with it. So, like an orange sherbet. So I made 4 ice cream cone keychains. And those are very easy. They're quick. They're like so quick. So then I moved on to, I don't want to make a whole bunch of any one thing at one time because you know, the whole batch crocheting thing. And then I ended up doing it anyways. But on the one that I did that on, they're like 10 minutes, 12 minutes max. But what I decided to do was I'm going to make a myrtle, and then I'm going to make a squirrel. And then I'm going to make a myrtle, and then I'm going to make a squirrel. And I'm just going to like switch on and off. That way it changes it up a little bit. And I know some of you guys will be like, oh no, just sit and make all the myrtles, or sit and make all the squirrels, or whatever. Some things I can do that on and some I can't. So when I had to reorder some brights, some of the colors that I was like using a lot of course, Premier was out of stock on a couple of them. So I checked Hirschner's, and Hirschner's had it. And that's one where I told you they sent me, you know, would free shipping help email. And a couple of people have tried that, and they told me they didn't get the email. So maybe it was for some other reason, because I'll go and look quite often and not purchase, just to like, what do you have? Do you have anything new? Do I want to get this? Do I want to make an order? And I look and then I leave, and I look and I leave. And that might be why I got that email. But it was, if it was, then it was a great coincidence, because I was able to get the free shipping. But when I did that, as much as I don't like the fact that you only get 75 yards of the variegated with the brights for the same price as the solids, that you get 112, I think, yards, I ordered a few colors of the variegated. Only because Mary keeps showing me pictures of her turtles with the variegated shells, and I'm like, I really like that. And if I only use those for the variegated shells, if they sell well, then it won't be too, like, off kilter, if you know what I mean, for having such a smaller amount of yardage than the other. So I made one of each of the colors, and I ordered in 6. And I had, the first time when I placed the order on the new stuff, I had only ordered one variegated. And it was the brown ones. I can't remember the name. But, so yeah. Let's look at some myrtles. So I like to use an 18 millimeter eye on myrtle, and I ran out. So then I went up to 20 millimeter, and I ran out. So now I am up to 22 millimeter. It still looks fine, but it's like, takes up a lot of space on the head. So each one of these is very different. This is toasted marshmallow. It's kind of a cool color. With blush. Because I'm like holding up the yarns, trying to figure out what's it going to look good with. So I thought blush went good with the toasted marshmallow. A gray would also be good, because there's some gray in here. And I don't know, it was this color here that I thought went well with the blush, but I think it looks good together. So we have that myrtle, and I gave this one gold eyes. Kind of, I felt like that went with the shell. I don't remember the name of all these colors. I do remember this one. This one, the variegated, is Beach Ball. And I was like, oh, what color am I going to put with that? Because it has the blue, the orange, the yellow, the white, and none of the solid shades. Maybe the orange would have matched. The blue, there wasn't one. The yellow, I have 2 yellow colors, and they looked very different. So I went with sand. I thought, you know, sand is very fitting to go with a beach ball. And I gave this one blue eyes. So we have sand and a beach ball. And now I don't remember any of the other names. Well, this one I think is just called Pastel. That was pretty. And again, I ran into the The pinks didn't really go. The blues didn't really match. The yellows didn't match. There might be, yeah, there's a mint green, but I think their mint green is darker. So I used whatever color this is. I'll learn them eventually. I haven't been working with the brights long enough to know the colors, especially the new colors. I thought they went well together. And this one, blue eyes again. So I think I probably attach my legs different than everybody else. Like, I put this part towards the front and the curve to the back. It looked more natural to me. So this one's a pretty one. I expect this one will probably be one of the first ones to go. And then, again, I do not remember the name, but this one has pinks and oranges and peach and very pretty. So I decided to use the sage green, which I just love this green. Worked up. Looking at it on the skein, doesn't look like much, but worked up, I think it's just so cute. And then I don't do the tail the way the pattern says either, because it's like 4 in a magic circle and then trying to attach that. My hands just can't do it. So when I get around to this part here, I just do chain 3, slip stitch, single crochet, and then back into it and do it in the round like that. Much easier for me. My hands just do not work well with the 4 in a magic circle. So this one got, I don't know if that would be orange, or, because to me it looks kind of like a copper color, but I thought that went well with this shell. So we have that one. So that's 4. And this one, again, I do not remember the color, but this was their new shade of pink. I think they call it cotton candy. Don't quote me. And whatever purples and pinks that the shell color is. And she got purple eyes. So that one's a pretty one as well. I actually really like all my color combinations. So that's 5. And the last myrtle, this one is so bright and cheery, I think will be one of the first ones to go. So kiwi, I think they call this green. And who knows? But it's got the pretty yellows, the greens, and I don't know what you'd call that. And then like a darker green. I don't know what you'd call that either. Maybe a teal, but I don't know. I think they look really pretty on the turtle shell. And I felt like the lime green was perfect. And guess what color eyes I put on this one? Green. Go figure. Green. So that is 6 Myrtle the Turtles. And that is a pattern by Chastity and Design. But she does not call it Myrtle the Turtle in the title if you were to go look for it. She doesn't. So while I was making these, I was also making the little squirrels in between, like switching off so that I didn't get bored. And I decided to have a little fun with the squirrels. Now, I didn't do anything fancy. I was just having fun with the colors. So this one is mushroom. And then this one is the light gray. caramel, I think, is this color. And rust. And then another one of the new colors, and I only ordered one just to test it out because it looked very similar to the mustard to me. But it's actually a little darker, and I like it. So it'll definitely be on a reorder list. So this one is in curry. So we have we have 5 squirrels. And this pattern is by Avery Crafts a Lot. I mean, I showed it. It's the first one that I did. And I did a small one out of Parfait Chunky and put it on a swing. And I showed those in Wednesday's very long video. So if you didn't stay around to the end, you didn't get to see these. But this is a cute little pattern. And I think she still has all her patterns on sale, 20% off. I think. So I think these two are my favorites. I just like these colors, the rust and the curry. So that gives me 6 squirrels because I have the first one that I did over there. And all this needs to be put into inventory. So then Friday was probably the day that I didn't feel the best. So I picked easy stuff, like I needed more swings. I know I got some made last time, but I needed not birds. So I made the critters throughout the day Friday, and then Friday night during the live, we made the swings together. So I did the bee, and the bee is one of the little mini bird patterns, but I just changed the color, give it a couple of antennae, and add some wings on the back. And you have instant bee. So we did the bee, and I did do one bird, but he's not the typical bird. He's the penguin, and he's got little blue eyes, and he's covered with fluff. Well, not fluff, but the polyfill. It's like if your yarn even touches it, it attracts it like a magnet. But yeah, so we did that, and again, we made the swing during the live. And 2 otters. Now, all the critters are done with Parfait Chunky. And the swings, I used Posh. Because, I don't know, the Posh, I felt like it's not going to shed. Like the fluff isn't going to come off from getting worn like the Parfait Chunky might. So we got 2 otters. And all these, with the exception of the bee, because it's my own color combo, but anybody could do it. All of these are all from Jade's pattern. And last week I did some frogs, some yellow birds, some, I don't remember. But I really need to do the turtle. I'm just not a fan of the turtle. It's awkward. It's not hard, it's just awkward. So then the last thing that I completed, and I did quite a few of them. These only take 10 minutes. And normally I would use Teresa's Crochet Shops pattern. But the last few times that I went to make it, I'd start and I'd be like, oh, I don't want to do this. And it's not that it's hard. It's, you know, you're making the 2 pieces, then you got to crochet it together. And I don't know, for the size that it comes out and the amount of time that it takes, I just wasn't into it. But I do like the finished product, but I just wasn't into it. And I know a lot of people make this particular pattern. I've seen Heather do it. I think I've seen Stacy do it. I know Mary does. She made a litter of them. And at least I think you'd call it a litter. She shows me a picture and I'm like, how is that pattern? I've seen it on Instagram. I'm pretty sure it came out last summer or last spring. But I never tried it because I had the other pattern. So Mary talked me into it. So I tried it. I started with blue. And this is the little stingray. It is no-sew. You don't have to sew two pieces together. And I do think I want to go back and add a little mouth to them. I feel like it needs that. But I had a small piece, you know, a little bit left on a skein. And I'm like, well, I'll just make as many until the white runs out. I still have some white left. And wait till you see them all. So I did a blue and another blue. So still plenty of white left. I was like, let me pick out a couple more colors. So I picked out, why can't I think of the name of this color? This one, it's very pretty. I like it. And this one. So I did two of those. And I still had plenty of white left. Now, the funny thing was when I was testing out which eyes, this one I put a 12 millimeter. This one I put a 10 millimeter, and this one I went to the 12. And I ended up sticking with the 12s. I know, out of character for me. I went with bigger eyes. Ah. So we stuck with 12s. Then we moved on to the next color because I still had white left. And we did two of these. And these are the Chenille Basics Brights. And then I still had white left. So I did two in this color. And I was zipping through these. Even not feeling well, 10 minutes. 12 minutes max for me. And that's not me, like, I'm not trying to go fast. I count every stitch, and I know that slows me down because the stitch marker's there, but I count every stitch in every round, and 10, 12 minutes max. But guess what? I still had some white left. So we picked another color, and we went with the new light pink. And guess what? I still have white left, but I did not pick another color. So I have 10 of these. I only have 2 of the other pattern left. This is so much faster. I do like the shape of the other one, but this is so much faster. So I think that I'll be sticking with this pattern if these sell. I mean, these, if it was done in maybe, like the Dollar Tree chenille, you could probably put them on a keychain. And that would be a fast little keychain. You know, it'd probably come out small enough for a keychain. Maybe, I don't know, I didn't do one in Parfait Chunky. I mean, if this is like how big it is with the brights and a 6 millimeter hook, Parfait Chunky with maybe a 4.5, the duck, where's the duck? This one I did with a 4.5 millimeter. Maybe it would be small enough out of Parfait. I know Parfait would be easier to see the stitches than the Dollar Tree chenille. But so we did those. And that was still pretty early yesterday. And I decided, you know what? I want to make something of substance. So I started on a pattern. And I got to do some things that in a plushie I have never done before. Like some back post single crochet. Now I've done front post, back post with double crochets tons of times, but I've never done it in a single crochet. What a difference that made on these pieces of this plushie. Well, I didn't get finished. I was taking my time and then kind of like moving in reverse because, you know, as the day went on, I was not feeling the greatest. So I was slowing down and I'm trying to make it look like something else with the colors. So I had to keep going back and forth and looking at this picture, and it's not finished, so I can't show you. So that's just a little teaser for you. And it's coming out much smaller than I thought. It says to use Bernat Velvet, but I used Parfait Chunky. With the Bernat Velvet, I want to say it's a 3.5 or a 3.75 hook. And with the Parfait Chunky, I'm using a 4.5. Usually I use a 5, but this particular designer, her items usually come out very large. So I was trying to, in the back of my mind, thinking I'm being reasonable, you know, going to get a reasonable size. And now it's a lot smaller than I expected, but that's fine. It is just like, it's really cute. I can't wait to share it with you, but I can't yet because it's not finished. And I have all the parts done. I just have some sewing to do. And to get it right, I felt like if I did it before I recorded my video, that this video wouldn't be up till midnight. I don't know. Well, anyways, just a reminder, this coming Friday night, I have a market, so there will not be a live. I will remind you again in Wednesday's video so that nobody thinks something funky is up. But after that, we'll be back again. And Friday is a new to me market. It is fairly new on the market scene. They've been doing it since last October, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it is halfway decent. It would be nice to like get in on the ground floor, so to speak, of a regular market. Like that one that I really liked that I've been waitlisted for 6 months. I'm never going to let them live that down. But if this one turns out to even be close to as good as that one, it would be wonderful. But we'll find out Friday. And yeah, so we're going to go. And we'll see you on Wednesday.